whenever I want to pray, and I always told myself it's alright to pray later. Now this is the Assalamu alaikum. Another episode of Ask SQ. You ask, I respond. That's how this thing goes. And if you're new to this channel, consider subscribing. We speak about topics and discussions that might seem a little taboo in the Muslim community, but it will definitely be an Iman booster. So let's get into this question. Assalamu alaikum, brother. I've been suffering from depression for a few months now. My heart pours out to you because it's not easy to go through depression. I understand that you wake up every single morning and you feel a certain way, and you don't understand why you feel that type of way, and your whole day is impacted and affected by it. However, just remember, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with you. Inshallah, things will get better, and depression is a real thing. Anxiety is a real thing. Mental health is a real thing. I would want to challenge and ask you, what are you doing to get yourself right? What are you doing to perhaps ease in the load and make yourself feel better? And I'm not just talking about spiritually. I'm not talking about reading your salah, reading Quran, doing dhikr, seeking the forgiveness of Allah. I'm not talking about these things. I'm asking, are you playing a sport? Are you going to go work out? Are you going for walks? Are you doing something that makes you happy besides something that's spiritual? But I would also like to know, how is your spirituality? Are you someone who is praying? Are you someone who has a good relationship with the Quran? And by that, I don't just mean you recite it, but you understand what you're saying. Perhaps you're reading it in a language that you understand as well. Everything that I do doesn't seem right to people. Who cares? People care about what other people think. Why? Why is it important to get people's approvals? Why is it important to get your parents' approval? Why? How is that a part of Islam? Yes, it's important to make your family happy, make your parents happy, but that doesn't mean it's to be a yes man. It does not mean to just listen to your parents and whatever they say, whether it's Islamic or non-Islamic, just to keep the peace in the house, just to make them happy, that you're going to do whatever they want. No way. You can't make people happy, and usually people really means parents. Do not focus on making your parents happy, because you're really not making your parents happy. You're just trying to appease your parents. No, be a decision maker. Consult with your parents. Communicate with your parents. Communicate with others. But don't just surrender to other people's wills and other people and what they want you to do and think that you are pleasing people. You're really not. You're appeasing people. My exams are coming soon, and I'm scared that I will fail my parents. SubhanAllah. Isn't that crazy? That you study, you work hard, you do all these things that will make you successful, yet you're worried about your parents. If you fail, you should be upset. You, person, should be upset that I failed the exam because you worked so hard, you studied so hard. But inshallah, you'll get it next time. You're focused on what people think, what your parents will say. Who cares if you failed? Life happens. I understand you paid a fees. I understand that you're paying for college. I understand this. But come on, you can't live life on fear. You can't take that exam in fear of what my parents are going to say if I fail that exam. If you study really hard, if you do all the things that are necessary, pay attention in class, and you make dua to Allah, and you get all these things in a row, trust me, you're going to be fine. But why are you so worried about what your parents are going to think if you failed? You should be worried about what you will think if you failed. I'm scared to hurt people, but people are not scared of hurting me. Yeah, that's because you're a pushover. You care too much about what other people are going to think about you, but people don't give a damn about what you're going to think. That's how you have to live. You obey your Islamic duties. You obey Allah and the parameters that He's put around you, and that's where you end it. Problem is, you're so focused on pleasing your parents that you're not focused on pleasing Allah. Don't think that listening to your parents and whatever they want you to do while you ignore what you want to do is pleasing Allah. It's certainly not. You are a decision maker. You are an adult. You need to be able to have those difficult conversations with your parents and explain to them what you want to do with your life and what you don't want to do with your life. But don't ever think that, oh, by just surrendering to my parents' will, by surrendering to people, I'm pleasing Allah. Because you're not pleasing Allah. You're just making a fool out of yourself. I'm depressed, and I'm starting to develop habits of talking to myself. Depression is one of those illnesses where a lot of people are self-diagnosed. There's nothing wrong with you speaking with yourself. I speak to myself all the time.
I wonder what's for dinner. Is it rice again? I don't like rice. Did I turn off the stove? Wait, did I turn off the stove? Wait, oh yeah, I did. Wait, are we still rolling right now?
My body feels heavy whenever I want to pray, and I always told myself it's alright to pray later. Now this is the This is the problem right here. And this is where I asked earlier, I wonder what your spirituality levels are. And you're exposing it right now. The real issue is that you've put Allah second and everything before Allah. Your exams, your education, people, your parents. You've put everything before Allah, and Allah is just a second thought for you right now. No way. That's not how it works. You need to do your absolute best to please Allah in every single condition you are. And the number one person, human being, that you have to put above everyone else besides Allah is yourself. You gotta learn how to love yourself. You gotta learn how to obey Allah and please Allah. And part of pleasing Allah is learning to love yourself. You need to take some time for yourself. That's the beauty of Salah. 5 times a day, you are literally taking time out of your day, pausing your day, taking time for yourself to meditate and recenter yourself. You need to start taking time out of your day, praying 5 times a day, and just figuring out who you are, becoming more self-aware about yourself, learning more about yourself, seeing what makes you happy and what displeases you, and then put everyone and everything else second. But this is a prime example of when you put people, things, and everything before Allah, Allah will cause you to forget who you are yourself. You'll suffer through depression. This depression will not go away until you put Allah first and everything second. You'll pray later. I wonder how would that work if you said, I'll study for my exam later. Tell me, would you ever do that? Would you ever say, yeah, I know my exam is coming, but I'll study for that later? Yeah, it's called procrastination. And someone like yourself would never do that. Why is it that for exams and homework and everything else, we're gonna make sure that we get it done? But when it comes to Salah, oh, I'll do that later, or I'll do it and not put enough energy into it, not enough concentration into it. But everything else, we'll put tons of concentration into it. How does that work? That's not fair. Wallahi, that's not fair. Put Allah and yourself first, everything else can go away. That was my advice. Inshallah, I would love to hear what is your advice. I want you to drop that below. If this person messaged you and DM'd you, what advice would you give them? Inshallah, drop that below. And please do not haram police anyone. This is not what this platform is for. It's for you to give a kind, encouraging word and inshallah, motivate someone, put a smile on their face and let them know that you're with them and they can do it. Jazakallah khair for watching. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms, Way of Life SQ. You got questions, I got answers. Inshallah, make sure you're subscribing to this as well. Until next time, I'm out.